Okay, so the app I'll be reviewing today is called Evernote, and I've actually never heard of this app before until I was researching educational apps, but upon finding it, I found that it's actually very widely used. So you can just go into wherever your apps are, and it's that green one with the little elephant on it. So whenever you open up Evernote, this is its first page. So this app is all about like creating files and notes, keeping things organized and set up together. So usually where it says all notes in this category, you'll have the different notes set out, and you can select it on here. So just the basic layout. So on this side, we have these 5 different little tabs. So this first one, like I said, where all of your notes are. This next one is where you're able to search for your notes. So say you have just a ton going on and you have one titled World War II. You can just search it and it'll pop up super quick and easy. This little plus button is where you add your notes, and we'll look at that in just a second. The star is for shortcuts. So the really cool thing about this app is that within your note, you're able to make a word or a phrase a shortcut, and it'll pop up here. So like I said, if you're needing to get to chapter 5 of World War II or something, you can add that in a shortcut and then just pop it up here, and then it takes you right to that section of your note. And this last one is just your profile. So I will mention this real fast. The cool thing about this app is you're able to share it with other people and communicate with other people through this. So this is the work chat section. So this is all of the notes that you have shared, everything that other people have kind of done or said about that note and stuff as well. So on to making the note. Whenever you press that little plus sign, this is what it brings up. So first we'll take it to the top. So over here you can search in your note. So like I said, you need to find World War II. You can search in your note, type that in. Another very, very cool thing about this app is you can set a reminder. So say you only have a certain amount of time to study for before you have to move on to a new topic or something like that. You can set a reminder, you can pick your time, your date, all of that stuff. And then you just set that, and then it will go off whenever time is clearly up. And like I said, we already talked about the shortcuts earlier. If you just highlight a phrase, you can add it to your shortcuts. You can also duplicate your notes, move your note if you need to move it into a different folder, and you can simplify formatting. So the good thing about this is you can do different text sizes and colors, and you can draw and add pictures. So if you just need this simple text for printing off or something like that, you can do that there as well. So this is the basic format. At the bottom, we have these 4 different things. So of course, you can type in it. And whenever you're typing your notes, this is kind of what pops up. You see your keyboard. But if you type on this little green A down here, you can change the size of the font. So for me, I have to wear glasses. Don't have the best vision. A larger font would probably be better. Also, if you have different headings and stuff like that, you can change the font if you're wanting to keep it organized in that way. You can also change colors. So if you want to have a hot pink heading, go right on ahead and do that. It makes things a lot more organized, neat. It's very visually stimulating as well. And then you also just have your basic bold, italicized, underline, and stuff like that. And you also have your number list, your bulleted list, but then you also have these little like check boxes. So if you have a to-do list or something, you can type that in here, check them off with the pen as you go. So if you press this green sign, it takes you to those same things that were at the bottom whenever you're not in the texting. So you can take a picture. So if you need to take a picture of something going on in class, you can add it in right from there. If you have old pictures that you need to add in, you can add in from your photo album on your iPad already. You can also add in a recording. So say you don't quite understand what a professor is saying, say you finally understand something and need to go back and you don't have time to type it in or write it in or something. You can do a recording and then go back and listen to that later. You can also add files, which is very, very, for me, a good thing as a student user. Most of my teachers post documents and files in Canvas. You can upload that right into here, mark it up, change it, and stuff like that. I do have to say the only bad thing, or my only complaint about this is that, yes, you can write, but whenever you write, it just goes in one place. So I can't move this around, or I haven't been able to I haven't found a way to move what I've written around. But I do feel like if you are wanting to write something, say for math class or something like that, you'll be able to write everything on here, and then upload it, which I find very cool. So now we have that note, like I said, and you can just find it from there. So the also thing about this is that right now I just have basic because I didn't want to pay for it, but there's other things you can do. So with the premium one, which if I was a teacher, I would probably get this. You can access different notebooks offline. You can forward your emails into Evernote. So if you have a compiled list of emails for a certain event you're throwing or something like that, you can keep them all in there. You can search through your documents and attachments. You can change around the PDFs, which I find very, very cool. The thing about this app is I feel like it is certainly good for student use, but and kind of like the individual use of a student, but being able to have that collaboration aspect to it helps a lot. At first whenever I came across this app, I thought that it would be more for the individual, just writing notes, creating things for class, turning it in that way. But I have come to realize that, like, as a teacher, it'd be cool to, if you want to put your plan on here, send it out to your students. For me, as a soon-to-be history teacher, I don't want to spend my time just stating facts in class. I can put those out on here and send it to all of my students. So yeah, I definitely really, really like this app. It's very easy to use, very visually stimulating, very clean, and that's kind of something I like. You can be very creative with it, with the pen aspect, with the audio, with the pictures. So you can really kind of